Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and I just love the 5 Under 5 challenge. I have so much stuff in my stash, and I get my hands on a bunch of stuff free at our good table at the dump. And using this stuff, I'm able to create a whole bunch of things for next to nothing, and the last one literally for nothing. So I'm hoping that you will get some inspiration and to be able to create some of these 5 items that I am making for you today in this 5 Under 5 pumpkin party. I am going to be posting a dump haul very soon, and in it was this strange item I believe might have something to do with making hamburgers on the grill. Anyway, I had my husband help me cut the top of the handle off, and I am going to go ahead and just take some dark antiquing wax and go over the entire handle, especially the top cut area, and then I'm going to also do the same thing to the other piece of wood. Finished with that, going to take out a piece of scrap burlap that I have from a project that I made last year, and this was one of those coffee sacks, and I am just going to go ahead and cut and glue a piece of this burlap to the back of this metal ring. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to take out both some brown and some green moss, and I'm going to glue that into the bottom of this cute little pumpkin base. And then once I have the moss in there, then I have these little packages that I got at the Dollar Tree of both some creamy white and some orangey pumpkins that come in different sizes. Now, they are foam, but they are fine for what I am looking for. So I am going to go ahead and glue them in as well. And then I have an old beat up string of these pip berries, and I'm going to go ahead and just add them to the stem of this little pumpkin and then twirl them up. And then I'm going to add a little ribbon, and then I'm going to go in and just add a few little items onto the ribbon and onto the base of the pumpkin to give this a little touch of green. And I'm going to add a button. I am going to go ahead and glue it onto a little block of wood in order to make this stand up. And this is how absolutely adorable this little pumpkin came out. Make sure you let me know what you think of item number 1. And before I go forward, this pumpkin party challenge is being hosted by Emily at Farm Charm Chic, and the co-host this month is Cindy from Z9 Design. Their channels, as well as a playlist for all the other creators making pumpkins for this party and pumpkin decor, are in my description box, so check that out when you're finished with this. Now that takes me on to item number 2, which is just a Dollar Tree pumpkin that I have had in my stash probably for a number of years. And I'm going to go ahead and take off the bow, and I'm going to take off the sticker and then sand off a good part of that, especially the H. And then I'm going to go ahead and just paint this entire thing with one good coat of a linen white chalk paint that was sufficient to cover over the orange and to give me a more neutral pumpkin to start. And then once this is completely dry, then I'm going to go ahead and take out some dark antiquing wax, and I'm going to just hit the high points and the edges with that. Give that some dimension, and just to bring the shape of that forward. And then I am going to take one of the wood maple leaves and a wood word that you can get at the Dollar Tree. It is very unusual for me to do Dollar Tree crafts, but I just so happen to have a bunch of this stuff in my stash, and it's all free, so I figured why not use it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and just add some antiquing wax to both of those. While I'm at it, I'll do one of the stems for a project in the future, and then I am just going to go ahead and take the glue and glue those items onto the pumpkin, and then I am going to embellish this. Also in my stash, I had this sweet little packet of different kinds of yarn that I think actually my daughter might have had years and years ago for scrapbooking or something that she was working on. And these are the perfect colors, so I'm cutting some lengths of each of these to just give this a nice pop of fall color, making a bow for the top of this. I'm going to adhere one piece over that little hole on the leaf to hide that. And I think there's 4 or 5 leaves in a pack, and also the words. So even if you had to spend, $1.25 on the pumpkin and, 50 cents or less, you have, a cute little pumpkin, but you probably already have some of this stuff in your stash. But certainly this would be a wonderful gift, a little hostess gift, a teacher gift, just a little pop for your tiered tray. So I would love to know what you think about this cute little Dollar Tree pumpkin. Now that takes me on to item number 3, which is a sweet little amber glass pumpkin shaped bottle with a little leaf, and I absolutely love it. But this came from the good table at the dump, probably because it is very scratched and worse for wear. So I thought that I would go ahead while I have that paint out and give this 2 good coats and cover that good and leave the leaf as it is in that metal dark tone. And I have a whole bunch of little items that make great finials or things for such an occasion, especially since my husband does clock repair. I had some of these very sweet wooden finials, and I thought this one would be the perfect thing to add a stem to this little bottle, and it fits in here absolutely perfectly, so it was meant to be. And then I took some of the Dollar Tree lace ribbon from my stash, and I just went ahead and added that around the metal part and cut those tails. And then once I was done, I decided I wanted to accentuate both the color amber underneath as well as the pumpkin shape of this bottle. So I am just taking a small piece of sandpaper and I am just bringing back some of that with that. A wet distressing would also work really good here. It just sometimes makes the paint a little bit muddy. I absolutely love it. It is beautiful, a little bit shabby chic. It looks beautiful in front of my parents' wedding picture here, and I just love that video. So that is taking me on to item number 4. At the dump at the good table, somebody had dropped off a bunch of these wooden, I think they're candle bottle cover things, and so I am going to go ahead and give that. Initially I was just going to dry brush it, and then I decided to go ahead and give that 2 full coats of paint. So then once I have that covered, I am going to leave a little tiny bit where I'm holding it without paint, so I have something to glue the stem onto. And then once that's dry, I took that stem that I had stained earlier, which is just a little piece of wood I happen to have in my stash, but a cork would work here, or a piece of clothespin or stick from your yard, anything like that. I just glue that on. And then I want to take a little bit of distress ink and I want to go around the outside edges just to highlight that. And then once that's done, I have this beautiful napkin in my stash, so I thought it would be a great piece to decoupage. So I'm just going to cut out a section of this, make that 1 ply. You only need the top ply, and peeling off the rest of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and use some Mod Podge to decoupage that right into the center here of this little pumpkin. I take a little tag that I have in my stash and just write fall on that. I add a little wired green around the stem from some leftover piece of floral, and that is pretty much all I'm going to do here, except that I decide that I want to, of course, be able to stand this up. So I went into my stash and I happen to have a cut piece of wood, and so I'm going to take 2 little tumbling tower blocks, put them in the back, and glue that right on to that piece of wood. And all of these items are free to me, but I think that you can easily find some of this in your stash or somewhere for very, very inexpensively. So here is it on my tiered tray in my kitchen with a little pop of orange that is already there. I think that looks very sweet, and I also have a number of wooden items that go very well with that stem. So that takes me on to the last and the very free one, because I am going to use one of these drink things. My daughter came home with this the other day. She actually had 2 of them stuck together, so there was plenty here. So I decided that I would go ahead and make a trash to treasure. So I just cut out 2 of those and then glued them together. Now I put it so that the 2 whole sides were together, and actually it looked like eyes and a mouth. If you wanted to make this a creepy kind of pumpkin, I guess you could. I don't do Halloween, but I went ahead and I just gave this whole thing a good coat of some orange latex paint that I had picked up. My Home Depot has a display case filled with all the different colors of Valspar paint. I think they're $4 or $5 a piece, and so that is a great way to get a sample color. And I just covered that completely and let that dry. Continuing with the free theme, I glued a wine cork to the top. I have about 1,000. I got it in a bag at the table, good table at my dump, but I'm sure you can get a hold of a wine cork from anybody. And then I just stuffed in some green mossy kind of stuff that I had there and put this sweet little candle ring in it, and then put a little tea light. Now, of course, you can't light this because it's cardboard, but if you had one of those little battery operated lights or some fairy lights, that would be really sweet in here as well. And then I'm going to just go ahead and add some greens and another little tag. So that is my pumpkin party. So I would love to know which one of these 5 pumpkins are your favorite. And if you would leave me a comment, it definitely helps my channel, as well as a like, or if you would share it, but especially subscribe if you have not subscribed. And so I am grateful for you stopping by and watching these videos, and I am hoping that you will remember to check out the playlist. And thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Take care.